we've got mostly everybody here. And should we start off with any questions or things that you all want to look at again?
I don't really have any questions.
What was something that you heard that you liked?
I guess the park, like, yeah.
Say that again.
Okay.
Go ahead. You can talk.
Ashley, is there something I need to do to make these images load?
No, don't eat it back.
If
No, you
you
did.
zoom
did you
in
do
really
that?
close to them, they should load quicker.
Annabelle, I was gonna clean it up.
What happened?
So I think I heard water feature. Is that right, Samantha? As something that people like.
Say something. Did she leave?
Yep,
She left for some reason.
yep.
So Georgia, or it says Mike, but I feel like maybe we have someone else with us tonight. What did other people hear that they liked? Oh, we need to unmute you.
I think we need to have speed bumps.
Hmm. Are there any roads that are especially problematic? Where do people speed?
Like down through, not Max Bad, I think this is the other, Oldham.
Oldham.
Right here, they speed.
Westcott,
Mhm.
can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. So Oldham and Westcott, is that where the worst speeding is?
Scott.
Westcott Avenue, McFadden, Odom,
Mhm.
and Beaumont, they all speed on there.
We saw some people driving about 75 miles an hour right next to the school. It's terrifying.
Yes, it is.
Georgia, you have a question?
Yeah.
Yes, I think Better Tomorrow's words about speeding.
That's a tight street for people to be speeding on.
They speed every day.
So traffic calming.
Very.
What about some of these ideas about the park? Whoops, I screwed something up.
Water pad.
That's what.
It's a water pad for the kids.
Actually, am I in the wrong place?
I think we need a park for the kids.
Is it not clearing up for you? We could try sharing it from my screen because it's pretty clear for me.
That's okay. Are we room 2? Just double checking.
Yes, we are.
Okay, great. So think we need a park for the kids?
Yes.
What do you think should be in the park?
I think there should be a water park.
Yeah, we've heard a lot of that. We're going to keep asking with the city if they can afford that and if they're open to it.
There's one down there off of North Shore that it's really great water park. It's got slides and it's got water coming up out of the ground. And then they've got this thing hooked up that's got a little bucket. It catches the water and the kid stands under that bucket. When the bucket gets full, it pours all over. Then they got these water guns set up that they can shoot each other with the water guns. It's really neat.
I bet the kids love it.
Oh, they do. They really do. They get cooled off, and some of the parents gets in there and gets cooled off with them.
Yeah.
What about anyone else? Georgia, you still have your hand up. I'm not sure if you've got another question or you want to jump in.
No.
It takes a while to lower. What
No,
about
she'd like to jump in that water.
Oh, yes.
raising her hand?
Can I get my hair done?
Jessica or Samantha or anyone else, what do you think about the ideas for the park?
I think a park would be a really good idea for kids. It would give them something to do to keep them out of trouble.
Any uses in there that you think are a top priority?
Just safety, really.
Safety.
I guess easy accessibility for the kids to get back and forth to it on their own.
So sidewalks and bike paths,
Yeah, yeah.
crosswalks. What kind of play areas do you think the kids would like?
Keeps dropping us.
What about adults? So we heard walking path, flat walking path and gardens for seniors with benches along it. How does that sound? And is there anything else that you want to see?
Better parking areas.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Megan.
Go ahead, Tracy.
So in the meeting we had earlier today, somebody had talked about handicap accessibility to the parks, or just, kind of more like handicap friendly in like some of the park areas. There was a resident who indicated he had COPD and it was really hard for him to get out, but he would enjoy, like going outside, going to the parks.
That's a great point, Tracy. Thanks for reminding us. We make a separate note.
Megan, can I ask a question?
Go for it.
So for everything that you all have heard Megan talk about, and you've heard us talk about between the park space and youth things and potential library, small library space, job training, the water areas, if we could only get funding for 2 of those, or 2 of anything, whatever it could be in your mind, what are your top 2 things that you would want to see in your new community?
Closer grocery store. I think you didn't mind.
Anyone else?
The crosswalk from school.
The path and improved crosswalks and safe walk to school.
Yes.
And for the grocery store need, is it just truly a full service grocery store, or are there items that you're specifically looking for in your community?
Just a regular grocery store.
So that one may be a little tricky just because we'll have to convince a grocer to come to the neighborhood, but there may be things we can do so we sort of have to increase the number of residents in the neighborhood. And so while the neighborhood is growing and new housing is being built, what can we do to help you get fresh, affordable food in the short term, maybe if that takes longer to get a grocery store? Like would a little mobile market or a small bodega in the corner, or like a farm stand day, any of those things would help?
just a small store that we can afford.
Or a
So-
little man that comes and let us maybe be able to buy fresh vegetables, fruit, you know. So,
It's a great idea.
We can do $5 a gallon milk.
So fresh food that's affordable, crosswalk and safe walking for kids to and from school. Does anyone else have a different top two priorities?
I have one. It's the potholes.
Mm-hmm.
The potholes are where I'm staying anyway. It's got this big old giant, and the more you run over it, it's just kind of chipping at it, making it larger, you know, and that damages, you know, the cars. And sometimes we're not able, like I work, and it's sometimes I'm not, I had to really swing around, almost hitting another car because, like one of the people said, as far as walking is something.
Yeah. So it's actually costing you more because your car is getting beat up.
Not even though I work, I'm retired, but you know, I can't afford that.
Well, you're right. Having new streets and clean curbs and nice street trees and lights, that does a lot to make your neighborhood better.
That's part of the neighborhood. You know what I mean? If you get out here, you can have the cutest neighborhood, but you walking and trying to walk whatever and trill over something anyway. So I know I'm scared of that. You know, and anytime you done had a broken bone or whatever, you know, and I'm not getting any younger, so
You want to be able to walk and drive safely.
right, you know, without costing me. And you know, not if it's not costing me my leg or foot or whatever been hurt, it's costing me my car, tire, things like that.
Gail, thanks for sharing that. We've got that written down. It's an important one. Anyone else? What about some of these housing ideas that about the renovations to the existing 1930s buildings or the new housing?
I actually like it looking like we spoke before, it looking like a place to come home to. You know what I'm saying? It's you know, it's nicer, more flowers. You know, it looked better. It does just don't look like a place I'm going into.
Like a place you're choosing to live.
Right.
On in the earlier meeting, someone said about the new housing. It was an interesting comment. They said that looks good, but we looked at pictures a few months ago that were more modern, and they liked the more modern housing. And so that was one comment. But what do you all think about the new housing and what it should look like? Do you like porches?
Yeah. Fortune.
Well, I think we like to live like everybody that live in a nice place, like nice area. I mean, me personally, you know, I like a nice place to look at, come home to, you know, sit on my porch or whatever.
Mhm.
You know, I don't just want something just because this is a housing project to be a housing project. This is where we live. You know, it's not just where we dump. You know what I'm saying?
You want to feel proud and feel like your place is as beautiful as other neighborhoods.
Right. I mean, I'm proud of it now because I'm blessed to have a roof over my head. But if you asked me, you know what I mean? in all honesty, this is what I would say.
I think they need a small place for the people that have animals to have their animals outside.
Like an animal park.
And just a little area to where if you have dogs or whatever, you can take them out with you. You don't have to have them on a leash.
Yeah.
I'm sure Marissa is listening to that one. She's been working on that at Austin Homes. But you're right.
It is a popular option.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other ideas? What we talked about some of these art uses and the idea of being able to start a small business, if that's of interest to you. What do you think about that? Would that work or not work?
I wouldn't know if it worked or not. I mean, I would try, but you know, it would be nice to see if I could do something other than what I'm doing. You know what I mean? I would try it. It don't hurt anything to try.
That's wonderful to hear. I think that that's exactly what we believe, that people have good ideas and lots of creative spirit and maybe just need to be given an opportunity.
Yeah, I look for all the encouragement I could get. You know what I mean?
So maybe support for those businesses or small startups or whatever the ideas that people have.
Right. If you never tried it or never attempt to try it, then you wouldn't know if you liked it or not, you know?
I think we need screen doors for the
I like
front
that,
doors,
yeah.
back doors.
Does everyone live in the painted buildings or do some people live in the brown buildings?
I live in a brown building.
Okay.
I
I live in
live
a painted.
I live in one of the brown buildings.
Okay. So what, Marissa, do you want to talk about the renovation and the screen doors and then we can talk about the new housing?
Yeah. So screen doors, I know that's been a thing that's come up a few times. Screen doors just aren't coming back in their current iteration on the current buildings, but it is something we can put on a wish list as we start to talk about developing the newer buildings. The renovated housing will, you know, the 3-1, the painted buildings, we'll change those around first. The brown buildings, we'll actually build the new structures first and you'll move into those and then the brown ones will come down. So there's not much, because we're planning to take those down, there's not much other than things that are necessities that we're going to make changes to now. I mean, if a pipe breaks, we're going to fix the pipe. But cosmetically, we're not going to do much to the brown buildings between now and when we take them down.
But we have the note that in the brand new housing that's built, you'd like to see screen doors.
Yeah.
And that's actually a good point. So as we look at our July meeting and our August meeting, we're actually going to start looking more at what does that new housing look like? What are the floor plans, the sizes of the units in the rooms? What does the design of the building look like? So we'll have an opportunity for you to tell us what you like and don't like about the specific buildings and units as well. Okay, well, we're coming up on time here. Any other ideas or things you want to share with us?
If I can't have my screen door, at least give me my my clothesline back.
Okay. So I'm happy to tell you that in some of the future meetings, so we're talking about the neighborhood and the designs and the streets now. In some of the future meetings, those July and August meetings, you'll actually get to talk about the new spaces and the floor plans and what you want to see inside those spaces. So you'll get lots of chances to talk about what the actual apartment should look like.